Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Get Crackin' on Christmas. I feel like I always got to dance now. It's like a thing, right? How is everybody tonight? Hello, Liz and Kelly and Danielle, Nikki, Ann, Kirsten, Karen, Marcy. Hello, everybody. All right. So before we get started, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I just spent 3 days, teaching in-person classes. So now I'm lonely here in my studio. Lonely. Where is everybody? But I just had a fabulous time at Firefly Farm in Minnesota. Hello. Hi, Margot. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Nikki. Hello, Jen and Lindsay. Hope you guys are working. Hey, Leslie. Hello. So get cracking on Christmas. I would love it if you guys give this video a thumbs up. Hopefully, if you're here with me live, you're already subscribed to my YouTube channel. But if you're not, make sure you do that as well. We are going to be playing with some purple onion designs tonight and some distress watercolor pencils because I'm still in love. I got my Black Cat hoodie on. I got to show the hood real quick because it's almost Halloween and I have 2 black kitties. But look, so cute, right? Right. Now I've probably messed up my hair. Yeah, teaching in person was awesome. Also crazy. Like, that was the most in-person classes I've done since before the pandemic. But it was like riding a bike. It was so nice to see everyone in person. People have been taking my classes at Firefly Farm forever. New people have been taking online classes. Now got to do an in-person class. So it was a lot of fun. So get cracking on Christmas, you guys. It's the end of October. I hope you all have started because you're gonna say this is what I predict. In the next few weeks, many of you are gonna say to yourself, I really wish I started my holiday cards when Jen said to back in January. Just saying, right? Oh, Mr. Harley just agreed. I don't know if you heard that on the camera. But Mr. Harley agrees. He is in the studio right now playing with his lobster. It's a cat toy that my friend Lindsay, who actually works at Firefly Farm in Minnesota, gave to him 14 years ago. No lie, 14 years ago. It's still one of his favorite toys. And it looks like he is going to do a little hunting. So you might hear him in the background. Dorothy just said, I loved crafting with you from the cheap seats last Saturday. Dorothy, you're a good sport. It was just so funny. Firefly Farm had an awesome setup in the store and at the soiree in the retreat center. But in the store, it just felt weird for me because I don't walk around as much because I'm teaching on a TV screen. It just seemed like where Dorothy was sitting and the people in the very back, it just seemed so far away. So I was joking with them that they were the cheap seats. But come to find out, they were some of the best seats, right, Dorothy? Hello, Miss Libby. So good to see you. Aw, thank you, Kirsten. I hope I lived up to all expectations. Hello, Liz in Puerto Rico. I don't think I'm going to be able to grab him, Babs, to show you Mr. Harley. He's not like a dog. Cats are hard. They're like, what? You want to pick me up? I don't think so. But yeah, no, he already walked out. Jack was just running over my shoulder. So no, probably can't pick him up, but definitely he's on my Instagram stories all the time. All right. So get cracking on Christmas. We're going to flip the camera. We're going to get started. We can keep chatting as the evening goes on. Let me know in the comments if you guys are working on your holiday cards tonight. Maybe you are stamping out some images. Maybe you're going to color some images. Who knows? Tell me in the comments. Hello, Jess from Western Mass. I don't know if I know you in real life, but I always feel like all the crafters that live near me, I feel like I just know them, right? Thank you, Karen. I know California is far, but we did have Alessandra came from California to the Lawn Fawn soiree, so she did go there. Hello, Colbert. Nice to see you. So Mary's asking, off topic, but is that fabric in the hoops holding your pins behind you? Yes, they are. There's fabric and batting. My friend Shari is the one that came up with the idea, and she's the one that made them for me as well. And so there's fabric and batting, and that's how I store and display my enamel pins. Prepping for class on Saturday. I love it. Brienne's working on that. Liz is working on that. I will be teaching Furry and Bright. Oh, that's what Margot's working with. Mary Lou's going to be improvising. I always love to see what Mary Lou comes up with. And Jen and Lindsay are working on their wash ashore jewelry and cocktail charms. They're doing a huge show at Mohegan Sun next weekend. Cannot wait to see their booth. Libby just says that I need to do an event at Lawn Fawn in California sometime. Thanks, Libby. Thanks for giving me more things to do. Love you, Trade Show Bestie. Love you, love you. Hello, Laura. All right. So we are going to use Purple Onion Designs tonight. And I love these sweet images from Stacy Yakula. I might not be saying her last name correctly. I'm not quite sure I've ever heard it said out loud. But Michelle, the owner of Purple Onion Designs, is the sweetest. I've been ordering from her for a number of years. We actually used to carry Purple Onion Designs in the store that I managed here in on Cape Cod. And Purple Onion Designs is often a sponsor of my online events, my in-person events. They're just awesome. And I love to color these sweet images. So Purple Onion Designs came out with a new release last Saturday. And I ended up bringing a bunch of the new images and just my Distress watercolor pencils 2 weekends ago when I was in Ohio with some crafty friends. And I just watercolored all of these images throughout the weekend. And I was like, well, they'll become something. And then I came home and I made a bunch of cards. So this is one of them. And then I think I have 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 more cards with the new release that I just need to get up on my blog, you guys. Maybe if you're nice to me, I'll show you some sneak peeks at the end of the video tonight. So don't let me forget. I love that Libby just said, just trying to help me fill my calendar. I'm so excited, Libby. Did you get your shipping notice from Archer and Olive today? I can't wait to get my 2023 planner from Amy Tangerine and Archer and Olive. Let's see. Jen, do you have a Copic color sheet as you do for the classes? Jen, do you have a Copic color sheet as you do for the classes and the Lawn Fawn Create with us? Do you mean for tonight, Liz? I'm not quite sure what you mean for a Copic color sheet, so just let me know. I would love to go to Hero Arts, though. Hey, spread the love, spread the love. All right, so Purple Onion Designs, I always like to do just a quick run through. So Purple Onion Designs does a red rubber unmounted stamp, okay? And so this is how I store them. I put them in these little photo cases from, I believe these are from the Art Bin. Did they say? Yeah, art bin. And these actually fit perfectly in a fridge bins. So just with my regular clear stamps. And what I do is whatever image is in this container, I stamp it out. So I can always flip through and choose what images I want to use. I do tend to mask a lot when I'm using Purple Onion Designs. So if I've used a mask, I'll actually put the mask right on here so I can hopefully reuse it again since I took the time to fussy cut it. And because there is no cling on them, or they're that red rubber, Purple Onion Designs has a clear cling mount, and that's what this is. So I have finally devoted a mini Misty to just be for my purple onion. I know not everybody can do that. This is just as easy to peel off and put back on if that's not an option for you. Um, so I am so what I do is I cling the red rubber to this. I just saw Liz explain. Oh, so I do not have a coloring guide, Liz, for this card. I don't do that for Get Crackin' on Christmas. And I didn't do Copic swatches because I'm using Distress watercolor pencils tonight. Hello, Barbara Jean. Thank you, Lauren. You know me, got to do the bright colors. So this is that clear cling mount. And just so you guys know, I pinned a comment in the comments here that links over to my website where all the supplies are listed. And then I put the main supplies listed in the description of this video as well. So hopefully that will answer you guys some questions. And I linked this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start right off and stamp our main image. I'm going to be using Distress watercolor cardstock. This is really the only watercolor cardstock that I use. I love, love, love it. True white, textured side, smooth side. Price point is really good. And I like the consistency. We talked about this in my classes this weekend at Firefly Farm. I like that I know how it's going to react and act with whatever I'm working on, since that's the only one that I use. So we're going to be using this cute little bear here holding the lollipop. So I am going to figure out where I want it on my Distress watercolor cardstock. Doesn't really matter too much because I'm going to end up fussy cutting it out. And because I have that clear cling mount on my Misty, it's going to pick up that stamp and hold on to it so I can do some stamping. Okay. I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink pad. It's alcohol marker friendly, but it is also watercolor friendly. So this is my favorite go-to ink for any black outline stamping. Usually with red rubber, you really only need to stamp it once. We'll see how that goes now that I just said that on live TV. Yeah, so Sarah says, neat idea for the rubber stamps. Mounting them kept me away. Yeah, so Sarah, you do not need to mount them. They're a little bit cheaper since they're not mounted. And I mean, I can store a lot in these. I mean, look, guys. And it doesn't take up any space. I love it. So awesome. Don't need to stamp it again. I'll actually clean my stamp off, you guys, because I remembered to wet my stamp chamois. I feel like I'm still recovering from this weekend. It was a lot. It was so fun, but I'm so not used to being around people and teaching that much. So recovery has been a little slow going. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Yay. Hello, Sheila. Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm going to be using the Distress watercolor pencils. I have already done a lot of posts on my website with these pencils. I am going to be doing a class early in 2023 with these as well. I really am enjoying them, like, so much. So much so that my Copics were happy to be played with when I taught in person this weekend. But what I love about them is I like that they're a woodless watercolor pencil. So it's kind of deceiving. They're really not a pencil because there's no wood to them. I love that you can sharpen them. So this set of the three are very loved. You can see I've been getting really messy with them, but I purchased myself a second set so that I will be able to keep those sharp. And then I also love they're very highly pigmented. I'm very impressed with that every time I'm watercoloring with them. And if you know and love the Distress palette, which a lot of us do, it's just nice, right? You know what kind of red you want, what kind of pink you want, and you grab for it and you know the results you're going to get. So I just love that as well. I used to teach with watercolor pencils a lot back in the day. And I actually really liked Staedtler brand watercolor pencils, but unfortunately they stopped making them. And so it's really hard for me to teach with something, even in-person classes where maybe you're using my supplies. It's really hard for me to teach with something that you guys can't get or that a store can't sell you in case I enable you. So I kind of just stopped. I haven't been using them. And so I'm extremely excited to have these. I've been having a ton of fun with them. Sam said, how do you clean the clear mount? I don't, Sam. Mine is very inky and well loved. As you can see, I mean, I'll wipe it with the chamois, and if it loses its cling, you can peel it off and wash it with a little dish soap. Maybe some of this will come off if I were to do that, but I haven't had to do that because mine hasn't lost its cling yet. Let's see. Misty was able to buy some Distress watercolor card stock this past weekend. Hello, Misty. Good to see you. Yay. Libby is actually going to be using Distress watercolor pencils in her in-person class at my event, Crop on the Cape. And I know Sharon is going to be teaching with them at Crop on the Cape. So very exciting. Okay. I love it. Karen just said, I hope you don't mind we're using the chat. I just see a lot of chatter, Karen, with you, but I kind of gathered that you're discovering new friends and new things in the area. And so I've kind of skimmed over your questions. So if you have something really important for me, make sure you put my name all in caps. So we're going to do a little watercoloring. I was looking for my card. Oh, here it is. We're going to do a little watercoloring. And one of my most favorite ways to watercolor with these guys is to just go at them with a wet brush. I'm going to try to get this all on camera here. I'm going at it. I'm using just like a number 4 round brush, super inexpensive paintbrush. But I go into the pencil with a wet brush and I brush the tip of it onto the tip of the pencil to pick up some pigment. And that is how I'm going to start, by adding wherever I think the shadow of the bear is going to be, because there's a lot of pigment on my brush. And so that's how I'm going to start, by adding a lot of that down onto the paper. And I don't really worry too much how it looks just yet. We're going to do a lot of manipulating and a lot of playing. But right now I'm just starting by adding that color down onto the Distress watercolor cardstock. And I'm just going around like I was coloring with Copics, and I'm laying down wherever I want my shadow to be. Let's see, we'll do a little bit under his belly here. A little bit under his scarf. All right. So this is kind of what he looks like. Okay. Totally fine, Libby. No worries. Use whatever you want. Yay, Sheila. I hope you have fun playing with them. So the big thing whenever you're watercoloring is controlling the water and having a sense of how much water you have on your brush. And so I really like to use a paintbrush and not a water brush that has water in the handle, because I feel like you kind of lose control a little bit. And then the other thing that I do is I kind of touch my brush to my hand. That gives me a sense of how wet or how dry it is instead of trying to look at it. Looking at it doesn't tell me much, but the sense of touch really does. So you'll see often I'm like doop, doop, doop on my hand. So now I have a clean brush and I'm going to start to just pull this color out. Remember, we're working on a watercolor cardstock, the Distress watercolor cardstock. So, and watercolor pencils react with water. So that's why I'm able to lay all that shadow down, but just with a wet brush, I'm able to now go around and kind of move the color, pull the color from that area and start to color in this adorable little bear. Can we talk about how cute he is? Oh, I love it. I love everything that Stacy draws. I just want it all. It's a number 4 round paintbrush. And honestly, it's a very inexpensive paintbrush, nothing fancy. Ranger, which I have linked in the supply list in the description, Ranger has a brush set. And I want to say it's like 4 or 5 brushes for like $9. And it has a number 4 round paintbrush. And I have a lot of those. And I use those a lot when I'm art journaling. And so that's a great set to get because it has a good variety of brushes. So right now I'm just pulling that color from the dark area. You can kind of see I'm not filling everything in with brown. We're going to work our way into making it a bit lighter. So I'm just kind of pulling a little bit, but still leaving some white. I am going to try my best to go around this paw, all the little toe beans on this adorable bear paw. It's okay if I go into them a little bit. We're going to be adding some pink there. And so now I just cleaned my brush again. I'm going to just see how wet it is. You don't want it too wet because we just don't want water going everywhere. Okay. And I'm going to now pull the color some more and just see how much more color I can get from the edge. I can already tell I'm not going to get enough to stretch it all the way across his face, but at least I've kind of softened that line in between the medium and the light area. Down here on his body, I might be able to fill it in a little bit better because there's not as much white space. I'll show you guys what I'm going to do to bring in some more color in just a minute. But right now I'm just working on softening those edges. Watercolor is always going to look different than coloring with markers. It's going to look different than coloring with acrylic or oils or regular color pencils. Every medium looks different. So if you go to my website, shirkus.com, and you search just Distress watercolor pencils, you'll see I did a comparison post. I made the same card with Distress watercolor pencils as I did with Copics. And it wasn't meant to say one is better than the other. And I'm certainly not going to abandon my Copics. They're all supposed to have a different look. And I was just trying to share what that different look is, right? But also what you can still achieve with Distress watercolor pencils. All right, so now I'm going to go into my pencil again, which this color is Vintage Photo. So Liz, a good color combo for this would be a Copic E37, E33. And you can see I'm kind of adding back in some more pigment. We're just working on building up our layers. So, and I'm going to actually bring this shadow over a little bit so I'll know I'll get a little bit more drag. And now I just cleaned off my brush. I touched it to my hand and I'm going to start to pull that color over. There we go. Now I'm getting kind of the look I want. I just didn't want the right side of his face to look white. And I just love coloring in general. I don't want to overcomplicate it where it's going to take me forever, but I really do find this relaxing. So as I pick up pigment on my brush from that shadow area, if there's a really white area, I can kind of go in and add some more color so that he won't look like he has white spatches on his belly or wherever. That pigment's going to sit right on your brush, so you're able to kind of move it around to different areas, which is kind of cool. It's almost like we put a palette onto our watercolor cardstock. Anytime you feel, oh, I have too much brown on my brush, I'm going to clean it. And then I can go back in and pull and move that color around. So cute. This is turning out good. I actually think he's about done. So that's the brown. Thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate it. Yeah, so these Get Cracking on Christmases, these lives I do once a month, they're really just meant to get your creative juices flowing. I am hoping that sometimes you are working on your holiday cards while you're watching me, because I figure time is of the essence and we don't all have a lot of time. And so if you're spending the time with me, hopefully, you know, you can be working on your cards a little bit as well. Sandra said, will you have a pencil class in the future? Yes, Sandra, I'm going to be doing a Distress watercolor pencil class in early 2023. Yay, yay, yay. Thank you guys. These are Distress watercolor pencils, and all the supplies are listed in the description of this video and over on my website, which is linked in the pinned comment as well. All right, so now we're going to do the scarf. And what I've been doing, which some of you might not be that surprised about, I don't want to use just red. So I've been mixing candied apple and picked raspberry. And the way that I do that is I just go into one of them with a wet brush, and then I just go into the other with a wet brush, and it kind of mixes the two colors together. And so we're going to go ahead and go in and do these stripes, which there's always a white gel pen if I go out of the lines. We all know I often go out of the lines when I'm doing a live, especially there. This is like a very weird angle I'm at right now to paint these. But again, mixing that candied apple and picked raspberry just gives me a really nice warm pinky red, which you guys know is more my jam. And then I'm going to go ahead down here and do his little scarf stripes. Trying to kind of remember what I did. Here we go. I was actually sitting with my trade show bestie the first time I watercolored this guy because she was in Ohio with me. It was so good to see her. Shari was there too. It was so nice. Too short of a visit. I flew in on Friday, didn't get to the hotel till later in the afternoon on Friday, and then I left at 1 on Sunday. So very quick visit, but it was nice. Oh, I see a little bit of his belly on the right there that I forgot to color brown. So I'll go back in and do that in just a minute. I'm all in on these stripes right now, so I don't want to lose my sense of concentration here. I'm amazed I did not really go out of the lines, you guys. Christmas Day miracle. All right, I'm going to touch my brush to the vintage photo just to go in and add a little bit on his side there. So that's how I mix the colors. Again, just to give it a warmer pinky red. They sharpen really, really well. Sheila, I'll actually show you. Let me find, let me just go ahead. Actually, yeah, I'll show you on these. I have a whole set that I am keeping for just sharpening because I had a feeling I was going to be going back and forth a lot, sharpening and not. I just use this bullet sharpener, which actually Dina Wakely had recommended to me for her, like, Stabilo pencils that we use in her art journaling classes. It is a little bit fatter than a normal pencil. So I think Prismacolor has a good sharpener to use as well. But they sharpen very easily. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here and twist. My friend Sharon showed a video how she's keeping her shavings and she made a palette. I'm not doing that, but that's a cool idea. So you can already see, super simple. Okay. Good questions, you guys. Good questions. I was actually laughing at your profile photo, Libby. It does look a little vintage Libby. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's funny. Tim Holtz taught at my store a million years ago when it was still open. So I have him in my phone, and he texted me the other day to ask me for a new photo of something that I had made for him. And the photo that I have in there is just so old of him. It's just so funny. I actually like screenshot it and sent it to him so he could see, and we were both laughing about it. Let's see. Yay. I know, Miss Libby, I won't talk to you about what we're distracting you from, but hopefully this is helping you a little bit. So now I am going to rosy his cheeks, add a little pink to his ears and his little toe beans. So for that, I'm going to use this Kitsched Flamingo. So I'm going to go in. My brush is clean, but it has some water on it. The water helps soften the pencil, and you can see how the paintbrush is picking up that pigment on the tip. I'm going to go ahead and start by painting in his little toe beans. Speaking of toe beans, it's Mr. Jack's birthday tomorrow. He's our baby cat. He's going to be 4 tomorrow. I was just talking to him on the couch before this started. And I said to him, I think for his birthday, he should snuggle his mama. That's what he should do on his birthday. He just looked at me. All right, so I'm just doing some little rosy cheeks on both sides. You can see there. Super cute. And now we're going to do the lollipop. The lollipop is really fun. I did like a rainbow swirl, which I thought came out really cool. before we add the rainbow swirl, I'm just going to do a subtle shadow down the lollipop stick. So I'm picking up a little bit of hickory smoke, a really nice gray, and I'm going to go down the right side. So you guys can kind of see that there. And then I'm going to soften that edge with a wet brush. Yeah, I have Baby Tim on my phone. Oh, it was just so funny. Not that he's really changed much over the years, but it just was funny. I mean, he's still got rocking that shirt style he loves, and it just was funny. All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start swirling my lollipop. So I'm going to go into picked raspberry. And see, this is what's so great is I make rainbows all the time with my Distress ink pads. So it's super easy for me to know what colors to pick that are going to work really well with, with the pencils. I just know what colors I love and want to use. Like everybody needs to go buy these so that Ranger will come out with more, and we'll be able to have wilted violet. I'm missing my wilted violet. There is purple in it. There's a lot of purple, Jen, so be nice to me. So while this is wet, I want to keep working because I'm also going to blend the colors together as I'm swirling. So I'm going to zoom in for this. You guys won't be able to see the pencils per se, but I'm really going in and pulling from the pink. This is now whatchamacallit, spice marmalade. Sorry, my brain was not coming together here. And because it's wet, they're all kind of mixing together really nicely. And now I'm going to go into mustard seed. I feel like my brush is a little too wet. So I always have my flour sackcloth in my lap, and I just kind of wiped my brush off on that. So now I'm going into mustard seed, pulling from the spice marmalade. I just think it's so pretty how it really starts to marble together. And now I'm going to go into Twisted Citron. You do want a decent amount of pigment on your brush when you go in to do this. So you can kind of just do one drag. Libby says that she doesn't use Distress ink pads that much, but she still loves the pencils. So see, everybody just needs all the pencils. All the pencils. All right, so now I'm going to go into Peacock Feathers. I decided I wanted a little bit of a darker teal instead of using Salvage Patina. And then I'm going to go into Villainous Potion, which is the one I just sharpened. So Libby and Brienne and Jen are all going to be happy now. There's actually 2 purples in my rainbow. I think maybe I was having some purple guilt, or maybe because Libby was sitting across from me, she was inspiring me to use more purple than necessary. I don't know. So you guys can kind of see that line between the Peacock Feathers and the Villainous Potion. I'm just going to go in with a wet brush, but not a lot of water on my brush, and just kind of like dab around to kind of get those two to blend together a little bit and not have a line. Okay. And then we're going to finish it off with some seedless preserves. So pretty. Look at that. So pretty, right? A nice little rainbow lollipop for the holidays. I mean, sounds pretty perfect to me. All right. I love it. I knew Libby and Brienne and Jen would all be happy with the purple. Yeah, so the colors blend really easily because I left it fairly wet, like not too wet, but I worked quick enough so that the colors would blend together really well. Hello, Beth. No worries. Brienne says, I have a brand new flower sackcloth on my desk because I got glitter paste all over my old one. Oh, Brienne, that's okay. I've got like crispy chunkies on mine. You just keep using it, girl. Keep using it. All right, so now I'm going to set him aside. He's pretty much dry, but we're going to set him aside. I did already make my little lollipops, so you guys didn't have to kind of watch me fussy cut. But what we're going to do now is our background here. So let me just set my pencils aside. You know me, I'm always trying to make sure I don't take up too much of everybody's time because, I don't know, we're just like all busy and stuff, right? So as I often do when I'm using stencils, I like to just show you guys, I'm using the 6x8 Simple Stories Snap album. And all of my stencils fit in here really well. I have one binder is all my Lawn Fawn stencils, and one binder is all my other brands. I really need to organize my other brands by brand. So when I'm looking for something, I don't need to flip through all of them like I'm just about to do. But I think the one that I want is towards the back. I think. We'll see. You guys are going to just see all the stencils I own. But the stencil I used is from Newton's Nook. I was actually just looking behind me because I thought, oh, maybe it's drying. Nope. It's in here somewhere, you guys. Here we go. Petite Snow. I love this. Love this stencil. Love Newton's Nook. And I already die cut a outside in stitched rectangle from Lawn Fawn out of Distress White Heavy Stock. That is my most favorite to do my blending on. Crystal says, I love the use of your rainbows in your distress makes. You enable me every time with your makes for Tim's Lives. Aw, thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate that. I threw everybody for a loop last Saturday. I actually had some vintage cards that I made as well. Brienne says, I have no life outside of crafting. All of my time is free. Well, I'm glad you're here for it, Brienne. So I'm going to just use some removable adhesive and add a few lines of it on the back. And I'm using my awesome Make Art Station that I love. This little magnetic board has made me want to stencil all of the things. And then what we're going to do, I'm just looking, I'm like, what did I do? But I am only going to stencil, I don't know. I'm going to pull out the ruler, you guys. I know I don't normally do that, but I'm feeling like I should. So about 1.5 inches, which is almost what I had. Okay. Just to get a little sense. So I'm going to throw my stencil down. Actually, I'm not throwing my stencil down first. This is why I was out of sorts, you guys. Oh boy. I kind of forgot what I had done. But what I'm going to do first is ink blend. So I'm actually going to ink blend on my glass because I like to ink blend on glass. It works much better. I'm going to use peacock feathers. I almost did salvage patina, but I was like, you know what? Peacock feathers needs a little love from Jen, right? And of course I'm using my ink stand. Love, love, love my ink stand. I don't know if this is the one I just cleaned. cleaned my feet off so that it wouldn't slide. And what I'm going to do is clean up the water off my table. That's what I'm going to do. Almost didn't see that. Hold, pause, 1 second. I don't want to be ink blending with water. But what I'm going to do first is just ink blend a soft blend on the upper part of the card. I do not want it to be dark. So I'm tapping off. My tabletop is glass, so I'm tapping off, starting right on the glass and bringing the ink in. And I'm going to have a gentle hand. All the way down to kind of where I'm going to want my stenciling to end. I feel like my desktop had a little water still, you guys. I'm seeing some residual effects of that, but we're just going to go with it. It's going to be okay. Normally I would ink blend this first and then die cut my outside in stitch rectangle. That way the stitching isn't picking up the ink so darkly. But for the sake of live, I wanted to have some stuff pre-done. So we're going to do just a soft dusting of this peacock feathers. I'm having a very gentle hand, which is really hard for me. Oh, and look. Oh no, I got an inkiness on my bottom here. Let's see. I'm not supposed to be getting inky fingers. I'm using my ink stand. I don't know how that happened. I don't even see it on my finger. All right, we're going to fix that. But you can see just a nice soft dusting. I'm going to clean my table off with some alcohol. The joys of live crafting when everybody's watching, right? Yes, this is an IKEA tabletop, but I've heard that it's not available right now, which makes me feel like maybe they're just like changing it up a little bit and they're going to re-release it. I don't know if Kirsten is still here. I think she was telling me that this weekend in Minnesota. So I'm going to use the Mono sand eraser and try to fix this boo-boo that I have down here. I'm kind of hoping it's going to work because that part of the card is very white. Yep, it is working. Sand eraser to the rescue. There we go. Much better. It's barely there. Glad to see you demonstrating a gentle hand in blending. I find it impossible. It's very hard for me. I have to talk myself through it. Trust me. I don't remember the name of it from IKEA, Ellie. But it's not available right now. Like it's not on their site. Let's see. Sandra says, I watch more than I craft. Need to change that. All right, Sandra, this is your time to get cracking. You could be coloring some images right now while you're watching me. You could be die cutting some sentiments and just maybe doing some sentiment stacking. Not trying to make you feel bad, just trying to gently encourage you. That's all. I want you guys to use your stuff, create fun things. It's fun to buy, it's fun to organize, but we gotta make some stuff sometimes, right? All right, so this is the Petite Snow stencil from Newton's Nook. Not sure yeah, okay. I'm going to stick with peacock feathers, but now I'm going to be able to have a little bit of a heavier hand and do a darker blend. So I'm rewarding myself from all that light ink blending, right? Something else possibly if you are a Lawn Fawn fan and you're wanting to craft more, signing up for my online classes kind of gets you motivated to actually use your stuff, stamp it out, die cut it, and then in class we create 3 cards together. And so that's a lot of fun. I'm teaching Furry and Bright this Saturday. You do not need to attend the classes live. You can attend them whenever you would like. So I have people that maybe just discovered me. They're going back and taking all the classes they've missed. So, all right. And I heard a lot of people in the comments are getting their class kits ready for Saturday. I love it. I love it. So I just ink blended heavier with the same color, Peacock Feathers. And we'll do the reveal. Love it. So pretty, right? So I like using that same ink for the background, nice and light, and then using it again with a heavier application for the stencil design. That is kind of a fun little simple technique, but one that's fun to remember. I use that rubbing alcohol in a mister to clean my stencils off. Quick and easy. And so now I can actually just put it away. Look at me go. Look at me putting things away. All right. Yeah, Libby says that Tim Holt says you've got to make time for make time. I love it. He has all these great little encouraging things he says to us. All right, so I have my background done, but what I do want to quickly do is the edge of the card base, you guys. Look, my card is on a card base. Is just a fun little rainbow blend to mimic the lollipop. So I'm going to do that real quick because why not, right? If I don't do it now, I won't get it done. And so I just work my way around the rainbow. So this is my go-to Distress ink rainbow. I'm going to start with Kitsch Flamingo. And this is just quick. It doesn't need to be pretty because it's only going to be a teeny bit that we're going to see. So it really doesn't even need to be a perfect blend. Just enough to get some color on there. My friend Jen just said, so organized. See? Parts of my life are very, very organized. Other parts of my life, not so much. All fall, I've been telling Chris, we'll have our kitchen table back. It won't be the Shirkus.com receiving center. But now I've progressed to, we'll have it back for Thanksgiving. Oh, he's so patient with me. So that's a little bit of spice marmalade. Next, I'm going to go in with a little squeeze lemonade. I either use squeeze lemonade or mustard seed, depending on how light or dark I want it to be. And I just want to make sure I'm cleaning the previous colors up so I don't mix them. Yes, Tim has a new color he will be announcing on Saturday. So I'm sure lots of people who are taking my online class will be multitasking to see what that new color is. Aw, thank you guys. Yay, Sherry just said you need to take the classes. I actually use my stuff. You don't even know. I love hearing that so much. It really makes me so happy. That was a little Twisted Citron. And then on the edge, I did use Salvage Patina. Jen says I'm using so much purple. You guys must have made me feel guilty. I've used a lot of purple through this through this Halloween season for sure. Now I just used my blending brush with peacock feathers. So I'm just going to take that flour sackcloth in my lap and just kind of rub the bristles to try to get any leftover ink that's super dark off. You can even see it all right there. Trying really hard, you guys. I don't use paper towels in my craft room unless I'm using Distress Spray stains and Distress Spray oxides. Trying to be better for this planet that we live on. All right, so now I'm going to go into Salvage Patina. And you can see, like, even though I just used peacock feathers, there's not any ink. Salvage Patina is so light. It was that rubbing it on the flour sackcloth was enough. No traces of the darker teal. Beth says that she thought of me when he announced the date that a new color was coming out because he likes to do it on the days I'm teaching. Yeah, either that, Beth, or I'm just teaching all the time. I'm not quite sure which it is. So now I'm going to do a little Wilted Violet. And every time I did a new color, I'm overlapping the previous color a little bit. And this last color, I'm going up into the Kitsch Flamingo a little bit. So really simple, but now we just have a really fun, bright little rainbow edge. That when we do put our card on, it just gives that little extra something something that I love. I just think that looks so pretty. And again, didn't take a lot of time. So now what I'm going to do is fussy cut out my bear. And I love, love, love these Fiskars Spring Action Scissors. This specific pair, the gray pair, I've had since I was in college, which I graduated college in 2001. I know that seems shocking since I'm only in my 30s, but it takes a little bit of getting used to these scissors, but I truly think that they're really awesome for fussy cutting because they're easy on your hands. You don't have your thumbs stuck into any loops. They're great for right-handed or left-handed. They have a nice little point. They're my favorite. And I do carry them in my online shop because I talk to you guys so much about them. But you notice when I'm fussy cutting, I'm turning my paper and not really turning my scissors. My scissors are slowly squeezing down and my paper is turning. My scissors are not really moving, just slowly squeezing them down. Not really looking at comments right now because that's one thing I'm not good at is fussy cutting and looking at comments. So bear with me while I bear with me while I cut this bear out. Ha ha ha. I know some people don't like to fussy cut. I find the more you do it, the easier it is. I don't want to fussy cut everything out on all of my cards like the olden days. But I do like to fussy cut once in a while. I find it very satisfying and relaxing. But again, I don't want to do it all the time per se. It's hard to believe there was a time before coordinating dies, you guys. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. So once I get this guy cut out, we are going to start assembling. And then we are going to glitter all of the things with many different types of glitters. So I'm very excited about that. Because I don't know, holiday season is definitely the time that no excuses. You should be glittering all of the things. I don't glitter as much on my fall cards. I was saying that in Minnesota this weekend. But what I don't glitter on my fall cards, I make up for in my holiday cards. All right, we're going to go down his side along the lollipop here. Right along his cheek. And up the lollipop stick. This is where I just want to make sure I'm not cutting his head off. Again, the angle, it's hard for me to see what I'm doing here. And then we'll just finish going around this lollipop. I always just leave a little bit of white space when I'm fussy cutting, but can most certainly cut right on the line as well. So you can see I did it kind of all in one swoop. You don't have to do that. But now we have that really cute little bear. So let's go ahead and start assembling. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually attach this layer to my card. And I'm going to look up at comments to see what I missed. Sherry says she likes fussy cutting too. Jen says that time travel has done me wonders, insinuating how young I look, right? Thank you so much, you guys, for recommending my classes. I really appreciate that. Lisa says she loves these scissors too. She's happy I enabled her. Yay. Danielle says the same thing. I love it. Awesome. All right. Looks like some people have to head off. No worries. You can always come back to the replay here on my YouTube channel and catch up with what you might have missed. Or if you joined in late, you can watch it from the beginning. And so I'm going to just add this down here. All right. And the next thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment, which is also a red rubber stamp from the Purple Onion Designs. Remember, you guys, if you remind me so I don't forget, at the end, I'll give you guys some sneak peeks of the other cards I created with the new release that's available now at Purple Onion Designs. I will be blogging them soon and giving you all the details about them. I just haven't had a chance. So one thing I do with the red rubber stamps is I take the time, especially with the sentiment ones, and I cut really close to the words. The Tim Holtz scissors work really great for cutting the rubber. And I do that so that when I do add them to a card, placement is easier because, right, it's not a clear stamp, so we can't see through, but it gives me an idea of where it's going. All right, so I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black for the sentiments. Oh my gosh, Meg, that's so awesome. She just commented that she only has 14 holiday cards left she needs to make. Yay! You're in the final stretch. I just make a bunch and send to as many people as I can. I don't really, I think last year I might have sent 120, which felt really good, but I had a lot of back stock of holiday cards because I don't think I sent them the year before. So I don't know. I don't know how many I have this year. We will see. Quite a bit with Get Kraken and my classes. Quite a bit, hopefully. Miss Libby, I actually think this is a Misty that you gifted me, by the way, because I think this magnet and washi came from you. I think of you every time I use it. So thank you. Libby was kind enough to donate a few Misties to me to use in my in-person classes. Let's see. Sam loves fussy cutting. I did see the teal Misty, Danielle, but I just bought brand new Misties, so I'm not going to cave. Brienne says, while you're sneaking peeks, you have that new distress color. You're a good one, Brienne. Nice try. A for effort. All right, so I'm going to put some foam squares and such behind my images. Get everything popped up. We're going to add a little white gel pen, a little black gel pen. Again, it looks like a simple card, and it is. It doesn't take too long to make, but I love adding all those added little embellishments to cards that don't really cost a lot of money, but are really fun to see. That's so funny. Libby just said, yes, I recognize that magnet. Well, it's getting a lot of use, Libby. And hopefully it'll go back into commission too with some in-person classes. Coming up, you guys, I'll be announcing details about Crop on the Cape, which is my in-person event here on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. It'll be our 22nd year. Should have been our 24th year, but you know, pandemics. And it's a really fun event where it's an old kind of set up like an old crop. But people come and scrapbook and card make and do mixed media and knit and whatever you want to do. And you work on your own projects, but then if you want, you can sign up for additional classes. And so Libby will be there from Hero Arts. I'll be teaching a lawn fawn class. My friend Sharon is doing some distress classes and Sizzix. We've got Julia coming from ThermoWeb. Cheryl Mazzetti is going to be doing some mixed media, and Lynn. Lots of fun options. So it's a really, really fun weekend away. And we have people travel from all over for that too. I added already, you guys, a little quickie glue pen and Prismaglitter to these bows. We're going to add a little bit more Prismaglitter too, but I just wanted to explain what I had done ahead of time before tonight's live. I love these little lollipops. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited, you guys, to share my sneak peeks with you of my other cards. Oh, wait till you see. I got carried away. I had all these watercolored images when I got home from Ohio, and I just kept creating and creating and creating. So, okay, I'll carry on so you guys can get to the end to see those. So I'm going to be using the Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen and black glaze pen. Love these. and use them a lot. The black lace pen tends to get like a little film on the tip, so I always just kind of roll it onto a scratch paper before I bring it to my project. And since I watercolored, it kind of dustied up his eyes and nose and mouth. So I'm going to fill those back in. With the black lace pen, you also want to just kind of test it out so you get a feel for it. It's much juicier than the Sakura Quickie Glue pen. It really does flow out pretty quickly, so you want to have a gentle hand and get a feel for it before you bring it to your project. I've ruined many a projects before, so just a word of advice. And on his little rosy cheeks, I'm going to add kind of some 3 little cheek freckles, just to kind of add a little detail there. And I saw a peek of Libby's cards she's going to be teaching, and they're so awesome. I love it. Sandra said, if you were to decorate the inside of the card, what would you suggest? Oh boy, Sandra, I don't really decorate the inside of my cards. I kind of leave that for a message. I tend to try to write a decent message just because sometimes the holiday card is the only card people get from me for the year. But you could ink blend rainbow on the inside and then be able to have a place to write your messages as well. Libby says, in case anyone is wondering how I can donate Misties to me, they were used by Hero Arts at trade shows and donated to us for Misty. So yes, thank you Hero Arts and Misty for all the love. She was just paying it forward. All right, so now I'm going to use my beloved Quickie Glue pen, and we're going to add a little sugar swirl on this lollipop. So I'm just tracing the swirl of the lollipop. And I have my Prisma glitter here. I'm not going to dump my whole card in the glitter because that would be messy. I'm using the cap like a scoop, tapping it off. Okay. And I'm going to actually add it to the smaller lollipops. I didn't on my original card, but hey, glitter all of the things, right? Glitter all of the things. When I do add glitter on a card like this, where the card is already assembled, I just do one little section at a time. So as tempting as it is, I'm not going to do all 3 lollipops at once or the 2 that are next to each other at once. Because then you kind of start dumping glitter everywhere. And again, it just starts getting messy. And my goal is to hopefully keep sharing with you guys how to be able to use Prisma glitter and not be too messy with it, because then you'll be more apt to use it, right? All right, so we've got Prisma glitter shimmer. Now what we're going to do on his hat and pom-pom is I'm going to use rock candy glitter. So this is Distress Rock Candy. And this is much heavier than the Prisma glitter, so I will not use my Quickie Glue pen. I actually like to use the Distress Collage Medium, which this one is almost gone. We'll see. We'll see if I'll get enough out for the pom-pom and the rim. I have another bottle here, if not. But I'm going to just go ahead and be very generous with the glue on the rim of the hat. All right, I'm not going to use this because it's like burping and getting all over where I don't want it. So new bottle it is. Oh, so exciting, you guys, a new bottle of something, right? Let's see if it just starts. Yep, I don't even need to poke it. So we're going to fill in the hat, and then I'm going to go around and fill in this pom-pom. The glue is going to dry clear. And I'm going to go ahead and pour that rock candy I kind of just do a gentle tap with the back of the spoon, just to kind of push those crystals into the glue. So that's a whole different sparkle there. Okay. And then the last thing that we're going to do is along the ground. I told you we were going to use all the sparkle things. But along the ground, we're going to use the Distress Mica Flakes for some snow. So again, I'm going to go ahead and add the Distress Collage Medium to the ground fairly generously, about 1/4 of an inch wide. I am going to touch it to his feet a little bit. Touch it to the base of these lollipops. Go right to the edge of that stitching. And again, you want to be fairly generous with it. Here's a little span of it so you guys can see. You just want to have enough glue to hold on to the mica flakes, right? And so for the mica flakes, I just pick them up with my hand. It's not messy. I mean, it's not going to cling to you like a Prismaglitter where I would never touch it with my hand. But I'm kind of just pouring it on. And then I'm going to do a gentle tap as well to kind of press it into that wet glue. And then we'll tap it off. And now we have that yummy, flaky little snow bits all over the bottom of the card. So here's my card from the blog post. And tonight's card, all that sparkle and shine. I think that little bit of black glaze pen and white gel pen really makes a difference as well. Super cute. So fun, right, you guys? Let's see. Belinda said she was waiting for the glitter. The best part. I love it. So fun. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. That's a very sweet comment. I bet you are just as talented. Sherry says, take the classes. You will be talented. Oh, thank you, Brianne. How do the mica flakes hold up in the mail? I think that they hold up pretty well. What I do is press them into the glue. So this is the one that's dry. And I mean, they're on there, you guys. But the trick is to have a decent amount of glue, be pretty generous. And I really do like to use the Distress Collage Medium with it. And then press it into the glue. But I think they hold up pretty well. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So should I share some of my other Purple Onion cards that haven't been seen anywhere yet? I think I should. So I will be posting these on my blog really soon, you guys. I'm just a little behind these 2 weeks with traveling and stuff. I got a little behind with life, but I will be posting them with all the details. Just make sure. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 5 of them, you guys. I just kind of got carried away. I was having so much fun, and the images are so cute to watercolor. So, yeah. So the first card is this one right here, and I'll just do a quick run through of these. But again, remember, definitely follow me on my website, shirkus.com. And I highly, highly recommend subscribing to my email newsletter, because then that way you'll get notifications when I have new things to share with you. But so this one right here, I use Distress watercolor pencils for all of these, you guys. So this one right here, I did the Distress watercolor pencils on the little fox and the little bird. This is an older sentiment from Purple Onion, and this one too. Or actually, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a new one. This is actually a Hero Art stencil in the background, and I did that same kind of technique where I did a light blend of Festive Berries Distress ink and then was heavier handed when I did the stencil. Okay. I'm going to save the money card for the last, but and then I have this one right here, this adorable little penguin with the candy cane. And then you guys, look at those little gumdrops. So cute, right? But look, I used the same card recipe on both of these where I did ink blending with some stenciling and have that as the bottom part of the card and have white space as the top. So don't feel like you guys need to reinvent the wheel all of the time, right? Nikki just said, be ashamed if you snuck the distress color. And then this snowflake stamp is actually from a Lawn Fawn stamp set. Maybe, I think it's a penguin set too. I'm totally blanking on what one. Oh, Penguin Party. See, look at me being really good at writing notes on the back. Penguin Party, and then this stencil is a Lawn Fawn stencil. Not Lawn Fawn, Simon Says stamp that I've used on Get Crackin' before. But so cute. Oh, that little penguin was so sweet to color. And then we have this card here that I created. I went for all pinks. So it was inspired. I started watercoloring the deer, all nice and pinky pinky. I love this little sign setup from Purple Onion. And then the snowflake background is the Lawn Fawn stencil. And so I did spun sugar distress oxide on the bottom and for the stenciling. Again, same card recipe, you guys. Do you see a trend here? Right? They all have that same feel. So again, don't feel like you always have to reinvent the wheel. And then again, I use those mica flakes down at the bottom. And then I used the new Nutcrackers, which, oh my gosh, I love these guys so much. So I stamped this on the background and watercolored it. This snowflakey stamp is also Lawn Fawn from the Window Scene Winter. I just stamped it really gently with I believe tumbled glass distress ink, and then I went over all of it with water. I just touched water to it to kind of wash it out a bit more. And then distress watercolor pencils to color everything else. Of course, I had to use a non-traditional color for those little guys. And have a Merry Christmas. I think this is one of the new sentiments from Purple Onion. I was kind of mixing and matching new and old. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And then this is the money card. This is kind of the one that took me the longest. But I had so much fun doing it. So sometimes I'm like, that was crazy. But then I remembered how much fun I had. But so this is the new gingerbread house. And you can see those lollipops are back in here. And then there's all these little element stamps that you can get. The gingerbread cookie, again, you see those gumdrops, little candy canes. And so I did a lot of Prismaglitter, but the snow and the icing is the Distress Rock Candy. And then you can see the mica flakes. The background on here, I did use the cloud stencil, the Lawn Fawn cloud stencil in Kitsch Flamingo, just to give it a little texture. And then back here is, I don't remember what stencil that is, if that's Lawn Fawn stencil or not, but just to add a little something. There was a lot going on in this card, so it didn't need a lot. And then I cut the sentiment up into little word strips. So yeah, so 5 more cards that I'll be sharing with you guys in the next week or so on my website. Please definitely go over there and subscribe to my email newsletter so you guys don't miss any of this inspiration, but also so that you won't miss any announcements of upcoming online classes or in-person events. Basically, I will be doing an online class with the Distress watercolor pencils in the new year. I've got my Copic class in the new year, not to mention some really fun in-person stuff to share with you guys. So yeah. Nikki says, can you beg Tim to bring back the rock candy in the Stickles bottle? I actually have a little bit of that left, Nikki, and I loved it. It's perfect for beachy stuff, honestly, like along the waves. But you can get a similar look with the dry rock candy. I don't think it's going to come back no matter how much I beg. So, but just know that I miss it as well. Thank you guys so much. You're so sweet. I just wanted to give you guys a little treat at the end of the video for sticking with me and watching along tonight. Thank you guys so much. So this was Get Crackin' on Christmas. I will be back in November. I think my November one is actually on the third Thursday of the month, or maybe it's the Friday night. I'm not sure, but you guys know me. I'll share via social media and email newsletter. But thank you. And I will see a bunch of you guys in class on Saturday online. If you're interested in checking out those details, all of my online classes are listed over on my website. As always, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help you out. High five, Karen, for getting 15 cards done. That's so awesome. Awesome. Have a good night, you guys.